Meteorologist John Marshall. We're getting scenes now from the devastation of Hurricane Irma, Category 5. This is St. Martin. Just came in the last couple of hours, and basically what we're looking at is devastation. So, unfortunately, the island of St. Martin, total destruction in the northeastern Caribbean. You can see boats just slammed up on top of each other like a junkyard. Unfortunately, and severe flooding through portions of St. Martin in the northeastern Caribbean. Before the brunt of Category 5, Hurricane Irma, with winds of 185 miles an hour. And unfortunately, these scenes have become all too familiar as we go through time. Now, as we look at the radar, this is from mid-afternoon on your Wednesday. A distinct eye is located, obviously, with Irma to the north of about 20 miles of St. Thomas and the Virgin Islands. The radar is coming out of San Juan. The hurricane has not lost its punch. It's still a Category 5, the strongest of a scale of 1 to 5. And the eye is very distinct on the radar, folks. It is about 20 nautical miles in diameter, and it just hammered Anguilla, St. Martin, Antigua, and Barbuda. The resident of its Antigua, its sister island is Barbuda. They don't know what's going on. There's no communication with that island of Barbuda. They haven't heard from anybody, and hopefully some people will be able to come back to the island of Antigua. We got to wait and see on that situation with all the devastation there. But the hurricane continues to move to the west-northwest with winds of 185 miles an hour. At 16 miles an hour, it's trekking just to the north of St. Thomas and St. John, which really, folks, they were in the eye wall, if not the eye of this hurricane. And I'm going to show you video of the British Virgin Islands, another beautiful part of the world. There was no audio with this when this video was produced, but take a look at 130 mile an hour winds plus. I can't even imagine what these people are going through down over the Virgin Islands, through portions of the northeastern Caribbean. Now, the question is, where does this thing go as it continues to track to the west-northwest? A bit of good news, if you will, as we look at this radar from mid-afternoon, from about 2:30 to 3:30 on your Wednesday afternoon. Obviously, that will be dated as you look at this video later in the evening. But here's Puerto Rico. Yes, they're getting tropical storm force winds. On the islands off to the east, they are getting gusts to hurricane force. But the storm is already at the latitude of the north shore of Puerto Rico. And it is moving to the west-northwest. So if it continues that track, hopefully, and I'm talking hopefully, the most destructive part of the hurricane will pass just to the north of the island of Puerto Rico. It's ever so close. We're hoping. Again, here's San Juan. Right there. If you go just due east, the storm is already north of that coastline if it continues on a track west-northwest. So we're hoping that that will be the case and the storm doesn't take a little bit of a west-southwest lean where they could see the 130 plus mile an hour winds that those islands have seen this morning. So that's the bit of good news there, hopefully. I'm not saying they're out of the woods at all, but I'm just digesting this information and showing to you in real time that possibly they will not see the extreme winds. They will possibly get hurricane force gust winds, but hopefully not the 140 and 55 mile an hour winds with gusts to 180. Time will tell on that. They're getting very heavy rains right now, and the islands of St. Thomas, St. John, the British Virgin Islands, as I showed you, just devastated, unfortunately. And this storm, everybody's asking, where is it going to go? Folks, that's the million-dollar question. As we go out in time, and I'm going to show you the tracks as we continue here. This is the tropical track, and what it shows, it's from just updated from 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is the tropics, all the models that we use for the tropics. Look at how concise the path is. It takes it from north of the Dominican Republic. Now here we are, right around there, around airtime right here, as we stream. North of the islands, but obviously, we all know these are the Bahamas. So the storm looks to hit full force. Turks and Caicos, batten down the hatches. Looks like it may skim north of Cuba, and where does it go from there? Well, the path is really honed in a little bit with this tropical model run and guidance that we use. Now, the National Hurricane Center track is following that pretty much so, okay? Hurricane warnings are issued for the northern islands, north coast, and a hurricane watch now, obviously, for portions of the Bahamas and Cuba, but they take it as a Category 5 and continue as a Category 5 and or 4 until it gets about abreast the, let's say, east of the Florida Keys, the Florida Straits. The cone of uncertainty continues to increase as you go out in time. Okay, folks, will it hit Florida? It's a good possibility. Am I confident 100%? Absolutely not. Nobody is. If somebody's giving you a forecast for where this will hit in 4 to 5 days, that's unreliable. I'm letting you know that the cone of uncertainty, and it's a pretty good area of the thinking of where this thing could end up in 3 to 4 or 5 days. So by Saturday night, southeast of Miami, we're pretty confident. Does it go up the west coast of Florida? Does it go straight up interior Florida from Miami up through Lake Okeechobee and Orlando? Or does it say just offshore? $1 million question. I can't answer that. All I have to do here as a meteorologist is follow the information that's given to me and digest that guidance. You know, a lot of people talking about the southeast coast of the United States. It's a possibility, not definite. What's definite right now is we are dealing with a Category 5 hurricane that continues to bombard the northern portion of the Leeward Islands, which is this island chain. And again, the British Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. John, Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Martin, totally got hammered. And I just feel for those people down there. Most of their structures, especially in those remote islands, are not too sturdy. So again, we're going to follow this thing. Hopefully Puerto Rico does not get the extreme winds. Okay? You can always get an updated forecast at www.johnmarshallweather.com. And you know I'm a man of no nonsense, no hype. Go there for your updated forecast and more on our local weather. And I know there's another storm behind this one. I'm called Jose, but listen, one storm at a time. Be safe and be dry here in the tri-state area. Take care.